Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, fellow TV watcher friends? People, welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adamville, senior editor over at the Koalition.com.
And my name is Lawrence, aka a punk with toys on all the socials.
Oh, it's like Christmas. I said this before, I'll say it again. It's, there's some shows you look forward to. Even though there was only one season before this, Landman season 1, man, when that ended, I was like, I need more. We talked about it after we were done covering Reacher, like what other shows are we hoping for? Landman was top of the list. If you go and you look at our description, which have not updated since we started this about 8 months ago, that is one of the shows we listed. We didn't even cover the first season, but we like, if you like Landman, because we knew that this was a show we were going to cover. We love this show.
My moderator said, because we were talking about it the other day, and he said, like, I think that's my favorite show. It might have actually been yesterday when I was live. And he goes, I think that's probably the best Taylor Sheridan show. And I go, it's hard to say because it's only had one season, and the other ones have had multiple seasons, and I like them. I go, but in all honesty, it might be. Although I also haven't finished Yellowstone. I wasn't in on Yellowstone from the beginning, right? But there's something about this, and it has a Dallas feel. I love Dallas even when I was younger. I love the remake, not the remake, but the extended version of Dallas. That unfortunately,
like the reboot, like bringing it. Yeah.
It didn't have a proper ending, which is very disappointing. I'm not a huge Billy Bob Thornton fan. He's amazing in this.
He can deliver these lines. Oh man, it was that's what it is. It's right at the beginning, that opening. Once we get into it, in fact, let's just start this real quick. All right, so this is a Landman season 2, episode 1, Death and the Sunset. All right,
and be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, all the good stuff,
and the hype. Yes.
Yes.
And the hype. Have you been getting those little emails? If you ever click on someone's, I got one again.
No, you told me. I know I've gotten some because I'll see it. I'll see it when I'm on one of my other accounts per thing, and I see. So I'll see it. It's weird. It doesn't really populate on your own. So
I know. I wish it did, so that way I can see more of it. But you don't.
I don't understand.
It's weird.
I understand that you can't hype your own stuff. Okay, but why is it so hard for me to see? Like, why don't I see? Like, I should be able to still scroll over on my videos and be like, oh, I have
5 hypes, and it's like, someone's, I get it.
It's points though. I don't understand it.
It's weird, but whatever. It's something new. Why not try? Doesn't hurt. But everybody, thanks again for the subs, the likes, as he mentioned, and the follows. We always get more people that are jumping in. This is a new show, so I'll just kick it off. How our format is that we watch the show together. We just watched it. Then we take our notes. We jump in. No edits, no prepping, no Google this, pause. Let's make sure. No. It's just a fluid conversation about what we just watched, just like you were there with us watching. And if we mess something up, or let's say we miss a key part of something, go ahead, put it in the comments. Jump in on it, and then we'll address it and we'll bring it up on the show, because this is what it's about. This is a conversation with us and you, the people. So
and we get screeners now. These episodes are different. These are full episodes, it seems like. But on some of these we get these screeners and they're not fully done, and then people will be like, he was hanging in the background.
That
wasn't
also King and Armand. We did not see that in our screeners. We did not see hanging Armand.
There's a lot of stuff in Tulsa King in the background, which I pointed out the cars.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on in the background. It's just a green screen. But I don't think this one was like that at all.
No. This is finished. This was a finished product. Both the 2 episodes that we have so far, they were finished. So it was good. But we're only covering episode 1. This is every week. There's 10 episode seasons. No surprises like the Tulsa, where we thought it's a whole big thing. I don't even want to get into that again. Oh man. But 10 episode season weekly. Episode 1 is November 16th. As you guys are seeing from here, we are posting it once the embargo lifts, and that is at 3:01 Eastern on November 16th. So that's where you are. You're seeing this, and you're probably also seeing 2 other shows that drop. Mara Kingstown, which will be the episode 4, and then Tulsa King, episode 9, right? And they all have the same embargo date. They all release on Sundays. They're all Taylor Sheridan show. So there you go, people. You know, it's just how it's how the cookie crumbles. That's it. We wasn't planned this way. It's just that so happens that the 3 shows we're covering all Taylor Sheridan shows, all out, and all shows that we want to watch. Well, there we go. But hey, let's get into this. But man, right off the bat, with just seeing Tommy, I was gonna say Billy Bob, but yeah, Billy Bob Thornton is a Tommy, and he's having breakfast in a place, or he's smoking and then drinking coffee. Waitress comes over, would you like some breakfast? And he's like, no, it's all right. He's like, it's the most important meal of the day. And he goes on what he's known for on the show, these rants. These tangents.
And I told you, because I told you while we were watching it, as someone who really got into fasting last year, if you guys don't know, breakfast is actually break fast. You're breaking your fast from overnight. It is a complete fallacy that breakfast is the most important meal. And a matter of fact, if you look into a lot of different things, once you eat is when you come down. So everything that he was saying is, our ancestors, they weren't eating all the time. They probably weren't eating breakfast. So he goes on this tangent telling her stuff. And I found it kind of ironic because I learned all this stuff. I'm not saying don't eat a breakfast because I love my Egg McMuffin meals.
No, exactly. But it's just that it's not the requirement. The way they make it seem like you have to do this. Yeah, you should drink some water, some juice, whatever. But to go and get the cereal and then get the Eggos that he's talking, he's like, companies, corporations came up with this.
Yeah,
sell more product.
That goes off about it. Like corporations are the one that tell you you don't really, it's not important. But he wants coffee and cigarettes. I can tell you that is not part of a well-balanced diet either.
Oh no. I and even that, I love the fact that he just goes on this whole little rant about it. He's like, all right, you have any cigarettes? No, we don't serve that. That's not a thing. Come on, it's got to be a stash just in case somebody. Nope, that's not a thing. What about the bus board? Is here? You know what? Here's some money. Tell him to go get me some stuff, just not the menthol or the skinny ones. Anything else is fine. It's like, do you remember, not to go off rail, but you have to remember this? Remember going to restaurants and stuff, and they had the cigarette machines?
We have a client that is they're a food vendor, and in the hallway when I walk in to go in, they have there's no cigarettes in it, but they do have an old cigarette vending machine that's just sitting right out there. My mom was a smoker, so I remember going to bowling alleys and her going and getting out of a vending machine your Marlboros and stuff like that.
Marlboros, the Newports. I do remember those machines. I remember them in movie theaters, in the lobby area. I remember in hotels lobbies having them and stuff. Yeah, they were everywhere. But it's just funny when he brought that up because it's like, man, does he not go out much? Because a lot of places, in fact, I don't know any place right now. Go ahead in the comments if you know any place that actually sells cigarettes, like restaurants, diners.
No, you can't.
It's done. You can't smoke.
You have to be 18 and older, so you can't just have that out so anyone can walk over and get it.
So,
but we had another client many years ago that they had them in the back, like where the copy machine was. They had some of the old ones back there too, and it's just comical to think that this was something that people did back in the fact that people still smoke blows my mind. I'm not going to get off on that rant, but it blows my mind.
But it's just interesting that he brought that up in that. But it was fantastic. You guys watched the episode, you saw that. That was just that's the best way to start the show because we saw a lot of these rants in the first season when he's talking to Shepard, the attorney. Remember when he would give a whole spiel about how the industry worked? Fantastic, love it. But now we jump over to Cooper and Ariana.
He basically saying good morning and goodbye, and he's going to work. And right now, all they're doing is setting up. These are the characters that are in play for the season. Is how I gathered it, right?
Oh, definitely. And he's excited. He won't tell her why he's excited, but he's like, "Hey,
too excited to go to work." I know I won't be that excited at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, but if you own your own oil well, the possibilities are there.
I'll tell you this. I definitely won't be excited at 6 a.m. tomorrow after this airs,
Oh,
after
yeah.
driving back 9 hours from
Oh,
Iowa back
man.
to
There we
Michigan.
go. Ugh, that's gonna be.
So
Hopefully, got good weather. That's what we can hope
it's supposed
for.
to be in the 60s.
That's good. Yeah,
So
there's no
while
snow
I'm at,
coming our way. Yeah, we're good here, but I'm just saying in the transit. But
yeah, I know.
once you're in Iowa, weather's good.
Uh, so here we have Tommy, and he's sitting there talking. And now he's basically running the oil company, but Cami owns it. This is where we find out for sure that I forget the owner died.
Monty.
Monty.
Yeah, it's definitely
So
confirmed. Yep.
yeah, so Cami is his wife. She now owns it, but Tommy's now been promoted to president. He's the
Mhm.
one that runs it. He's the one that's doing all this wheeling, dealing. At least that's what we think as of right now.
Yeah, because it
Um,
looks like she set up. At first, I wasn't sure what this was. I was like, "Well, it's definitely some kind of big meeting." But she called a luncheon of all the
yeah.
other business people within the oil industry that Monty deals with, so that way she could address the situation. Because they
And
go, she goes, "Yeah,
I don't
mm,
remember if last season it was addressed that he had the largest, that he was
no,
the largest um uh oil
yeah,
oil man, whatever,
yeah." He
in
owned
the
the largest
oil,
share. Yeah,
yeah, in the area. Not the largest indie, but in the area.
Manetti. Mhm. I
And
don't
and
remember.
then
Go
he
ahead,
said,
people in the comments if you remember that. I don't remember that. I knew that he owned a large portion, but then
yeah,
he was always talking about selling. Remember, he was like, "Oh, we
and he
got
was
so
a
many dead
gambler, and
wells," and yeah, he's got other stuff. So that wasn't. Who knows? Maybe they just added that into the season, but yeah, it was good.
um but then we have Danny talking to Tommy, and the Tommy is just basically saying, hey, you know what, here's what we're gonna do. And you can see he's very shrewd. And he says
Mhm.
something like, you're worse than the other guy. And he's like, you say this like that's a bad thing.
Yeah, that was his best friend. At least that's how he says it. And it wasn't just
Yeah.
his boss, that was his best friend. And remember, there was a whole history with them before because Tommy used to own his own wells and stuff, but he had his vices, right? I think the Angela had brought it up. It was the drinking, the gambling, and all the stuff, and it
I
fell
thought it was
apart. But
Angela.
hmm?
I think it was
And Angela, yeah,
Angela.
yeah. Well, see, she said that came up again in this episode over while they were in the plane.
Yeah.
That it wasn't her fault, and she just points it back at him, but he doesn't really go into it. But definitely, some stuff fell apart
Yep.
for him, and Monty pulled him in and gave him the position, Landman. Help me run my business, be the boots on the ground.
Yeah. But again, he's just wheeling and dealing, and he's discussing with a few different people. And they're all wondering what Cammy is going to say at this luncheon. Like, what is her speech going to be?
Yeah.
And we find out really shortly,
Oh,
which I
man.
find it really it's pretty good, to be honest.
So we'll get into this part, and there's a question for you out there, people. That scene in the bathroom where we see Cammy, she's putting on her makeup. These two young girls walk in. They start talking about all this stuff. They basically are there to try to catch one of the big wigs there, and
The gold diggers.
yeah, they're gold diggers. There you go. They're gold diggers trying to get their whatever they're trying to get out. Well, the gold and the money and all that. But they take a look at her and they're like, oh, the divorcee event is like 2 doors down or something like that. They just throw some
like the
yeah.
doctor.
The doctor went,
Like
yeah, they're throwing some shade at her. It's like this is a young woman's game. It's like, damn, really? What if one of those guys was just married and this is his wife? Or what if she is one of the that's why I just call BS that girls would just talk like that guys don't do that. We don't do that when we're done with the urinal, walk to the front and it's like, hey, what are you doing?
Punch in the face.
Right, there'll be a fight in the bathroom.
The other thing that's kind of, again, I understand they're kind of catty, and they say something like, "Oh, the doctor's convention's out." Like, first off, Demi Moore looks amazing still.
Oh yeah.
And when you're looking at her, you're like, yeah, you can tell you're an older woman, but you're very distinguished. Like, you can
There's
tell.
nothing
like,
wrong with
you
that.
still
Yeah,
look
exactly.
damn good.
Exactly.
Um,
That's another reason why I call BS on it. But I get why for the show because of what happens right after that. But she said she needed this. She needed that. She needed that thrown in her face because of what she was about to do. She needed to stir up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's when Tommy, she comes out and Tommy and her discuss, and Tommy basically like he lays everything out, and this is the reason, like this is what she needs to do, and she basically says that's like the difference between men and women. I don't need that motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need a different motivation. And her whole motivation now was because these two girls, they were talking about. The one was talking about how she's going to give the guy a BJ on the plane and she's going to get all this out of him.
Yeah.
And they were rude to her. And she even says to Tommy, like, I just want to ruin that woman, that girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you see them like fighting with the old guy. Like the old guy is clearly canceling because now it seemed like these people were like ready to jump on her, maybe to like buy everything, pennies on the dollar.
That's the part I wasn't sure about, because that's what Dan was getting at right at the beginning when he was talking to Tommy.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, it's not going to work. It's like, oh, well, I'm not going to will and deal with his with Monty's prize wife. It's like, no,
I didn't like, because it wasn't like she's like, it's not like she was some some young woman and they just got married. Like it sounds like they've been together for quite some time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not a trophy wife. That is someone who has been with you. You have kids together.
Plus, they don't know the behind the scenes. They don't know if she played a major part in some of his decision makings, if she sat down with him, and they don't know any of that. So it's just it was dumb for them to bring that up.
When you're in your 50s, you're no longer a trophy wife, right?
No, I guess if under the sense she's still a trophy because she's a great woman. She had the kid.
Again, that's not what a trophy wife is.
I know, but she's a trophy.
No one's ever been like, she has a great personality, and they say, I know she's a trophy.
Exactly.
Wife. No, that's not what it is.
She's so good, man. She could make a mean sandwich. Oh boy. Ooh, just the right amount of mustard on it. Oh.
She was always barefoot and pregnant in the
right, exactly. I got 8 kids now, all working the farm. Oh man.
But Tammy's speech, she pretty much tells them off. And so I kind of got the feeling like they were all there so they can basically buy everything off of her, or at least start liquidating her assets, taking things that, and getting the best deal. And then find out, and she says, hey, I'm worse than my husband.
Oh yeah. Well, because that was the thing. She put this together, this luncheon. It was for them, and maybe that's what they thought, that she was just going to be like, "Hey, I don't know anything about this, so talk to Tommy, and he'll set things up and sell things off." Because that's one of the things Dan said. Is like she could sell all the stuff, and she could be set for life.
Did you have a little clip of what she said?
Oh yeah. Right at the end.
I'm the largest independent oil producer in the region. The only difference between me and Monty is I'm meaner. Test me and you'll find out how much. Enjoy your lunch. I paid for it with your fucking money.
Oh, I love that. That was, and it was like, I didn't get to see because I was writing notes. Who started the slow clap? Was that Tommy? I was like, who's gonna?
No, it was, I believe, Danny, actually.
Danny?
Oh, or no. It was the second guy that he was talking to, and I don't know who that is.
Oh yeah, they didn't say his name. Because there was another guy that walked over and he wheeled and dealed to buy some wells, and he's willing to buy some other property or.
But I gotta say, like, I didn't even realize it in the first season till like halfway through that was Demi Moore. And then when you hear this accent, it's not like this over-the-top Texas accent. It doesn't sound like Demi Moore. It sounds like somebody who is from, Texas, who's lived there their whole life.
I was with you on that. It was maybe a few episodes in, because remember, she wasn't just always there. Like, she was in the background. You would see Monty, and then you would see the wife walk by, and then she would say something near the pool. Remember, it was a lot of pool scenes.
Yeah.
And then she would walk back in, and it was like, was that Demi Moore? And then I looked online, but yeah, that's Demi. Why does she have like not even a supporting role? She's just like a background. Well, this is all leading to this.
And I believe for me, I saw that Demi Moore was in it. I'm like, where the hell's Demi Moore at? And then you're like, oh my gosh. And she was like the one that, if you remember, like when he tells her like that his wife is back, and she was like, oh God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she knows exactly all the stuff that Angela's caused. But then we quickly switch to oil drilling, and Cooper is very excited. He's waiting. He thinks that, hey, we should be there. And the guy that he's working with, who I thought was Dale, but it's a different guy.
And Morty. I think
he's not on IMDb. That's what I know.
That's always funny.
I thought that it was Dale, but Dale's much smaller these days, or at least I don't know. Maybe he looks smaller. This guy was a little bit bigger, but he looked like he had
looks similar. Yeah,
he's
hit
like,
a meter.
He's like, you'll know. It'll start singing, and as they're drilling, it's getting closer and closer, and you're wondering, like, is this going to be a flop? Because we don't know. At least I don't, because I haven't watched what's going to be happening. I haven't watched any type of previews or anything. Is this going to be like a total flop? And sure enough, they hit oil.
Yeah, they hit the pressure spot.
Awful lot of oil. Because Cooper wants him to do something, and and Marty or whatever is like, do you want that to spill all over? He's like, we can't. So
yeah, they got to get everything set, because later on he goes into detail about how many barrels.
And then he just leaves, and he goes and he runs back to his girlfriend and wakes up the baby as she's trying to lay it down. I don't care how much money you have. If your wife or girlfriend that just had a kid just laid the baby down and you woke it up, I don't care how much money you found, it's not enough to calm her down.
Hey, this is now. What I was thinking is, the first, I get it, they're partners. If you guys don't remember, she gave some of the money that they were able to get from the husband's accidental death from the oil explosion, and she put that money into it, so she became a partner. But he also has the landowner as a partner, so I thought maybe he was going to be around. We didn't see that guy. If anything, he was like, hey,
because he basically said, hey, you let me drill on it, you'll get 25% of it. It was something like that. He's drilling on his land, if I'm correct. He's drilling on his land on an angle under other people's land. If I remember correctly, because that was the biggest thing. He's like, there's nothing on here. And he's like, yes, but there's something over there. Maybe but if I remember, he specifically, because don't you remember, Cooper is very smart.
Oh yeah. He went to school for this, remember? But then he dropped out.
He's very smart. He just has no experience. And, again, he's not this big muscular guy that's doing it. But he's figured this out. And this was something that, if I remember correctly, they said that, hey, we bought this land, but there's really nothing on it. But they know there's oil elsewhere. And if they drill enough on an angle, they're going to hit it. So which means they have to go deeper.
See, all right. So I thought that he was looking around and taking a look at different areas that sort of, as they called it, they were like orphan wells or dead wells or something like that. And he felt there was still more oil if he went deeper, and sort of like that with the angle. But he felt
they have to go on an angle.
Yeah,
maybe it's not underneath other, but I thought it was underneath other property that maybe he didn't own.
But I do remember knocking on the guy's door, telling him the whole thing, and he says, "Listen," and the guy was like, "Hey, there's nothing here. That's done." He's like, "No," and he tried to explain it. Remember, he took out a map and he was on the hood of the car. I was like, "Hey," he says, "Hey, if you can do it, if you can find it, all right, then we got a deal."
And that's what he said. He goes, "You'll get 25% of it." So it was way more than what other people were going to pay, and he doesn't have to do anything except for let them use his land, which is pretty much useless to begin with.
Yep. But yeah, he found it. It was like 6,200 units or something like that they were saying. Yeah. So it definitely, this is big money. And like you said, he jumps in the car and he heads off. Goes sleeps with the baby.
Again, he's a math guy, and the guy tells him how much it is. Ariana's there's like, is that a lot? And he starts breaking it down to where it comes out to be $39,000 a day. So $10 million a year, and that's after they pay the 25% to the other guy.
This is it, and he says it. He's like, "This is for you." He's saying that's the other thing. It's like, oh, are they committing? I guess he's committing for life with this. It's not just a business partner. It made it seem like he wanted a little more.
Yeah, And this is only one. This is only one well, right?
Yeah.
So
There's only one.
there's other ones that they're going to be trying to tap into. They said that this will pay off the rig and everything in 2 months. Now, mind you, 10 million, it seems like a lot, but you still have a whole crew that you have to. So you better get some more going, right?
He got so lucky. The guy even said it. He was like, I would tell you go buy a lotto ticket, but you already hit the lotto already. Because look at it. This is his first time drilling his own well, doing the whole thing. And it looked like it was the first day of drilling. And there you go.
I mean, that's all they're showing us. I mean, we don't
know.
know.
I know. They had a nice little montage showing the whole thing.
But he had, if I remember correctly, he had everything planned out about like, this is where the oil is. This is how we have to get to it.
Yeah.
So, and you would have thought he would have been talking to his dad more. This sounds like he kind of went off on his own. He still talks to his dad.
He doesn't even know. Stuff. I don't think his dad knows anything about this because when they got on the phone multiple times in this episode and then eventually in person, Tommy never asked him.
But I think he knew he was drilling, that he was looking for something. Yeah, I believe they talked about that. But anyway, this is where we get to.
Oh man!
Here we have Angela and Ainsley touring the TCU campus, and it's funny because they talk about the Horned Frogs, which is TCU Horned Frogs, Texas Christian University, if anyone is wondering. And it sounds like Ainsley's already been accepted.
Some walk-on. It's a priority walk-on. That made no sense. She was talking to. I wasn't sure if this was a enrollment. She didn't really say her title. I know her name was up there, but it didn't really say. Greta was her name, but I don't remember her title. But
they don't say what she is, but she's some sort of administration counselor or whatever. And so she's talking to her and she's asking the typical questions. And Ainsley's just an idiot. But oh my gosh, the actress that plays Ainsley clearly is not an idiot because you could not play this stupid and remember she's just going on and she's asking stuff about.
It could have been a deleted scene from the movie Clueless. It's like I could have definitely seen a character just doing the same thing. It's like, oh, why do you want to go to this school? Why? Well, I get to date the athletes because the other school I can't date the athletes.
Which I don't think they can tell you who you can and can't date. That would be a coach's thing that says you can't date the cheerleader. Yeah, this isn't a job. This isn't a job where you can't date management.
Yeah, it's a school. Yeah, I don't know how they enforce that. And I think even Greta, she was just in shock through the whole thing. But yeah.
So this could have been just Ainsley being, you seeing how stupid Ainsley is, but Greta and her and she's like, "Do you want to hear my reason or whatever?" And she's like, "Oh absolutely!" She plays it so well. And then when
let's play that. Let's play that.
To explain my position on the subject.
I would be fascinated to hear your position on the subject.
Well, it seems detrimental to really humanity in general that a university would try to keep the prettiest girls from dating the tallest, most athletic boys who could then get married and make babies that are really, really pretty and athletic, even more athletic than their parents.
What? It's like to see Greta's face, what? She's like, I can't believe this is.
This is gonna sound awful. My ex and I used to always talk about. You would see two beautiful people in Hollywood, and then you'd see their kid, and you're like, "What? How did that baby turn out ugly?" I hate to be that. You're like, because I remember I used to always say, if Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt had kids, it's not fair to everyone else. But then it gets pointed out that usually these the two really good looking couple sometimes have the worst looking babies. And
it's a hit or miss. It's a hit or miss.
Right.
You can't predict it how that's going to pan out.
But I thought that this was amazing, and it's the interaction that happens with Greta as she goes on. She keeps burying her, and Greta basically just tells her if I had the ability to not accept you, I would, but I don't have that. And she wants to hug her. She's She's so stupid. She doesn't even get like
could not
how
believe that.
stupid she is.
And she said, she definitely, it was a walk-on situation where she just, this was just, I guess, a formality. Just, all right, let's meet, let's talk. Okay.
This whole thing was to show how stupid Ainsley is, and then how much Angela just thinks she can spend as much money as she wants.
Yeah. I guess so. I was really, you know what? Is she still with that boyfriend, the football player? I guess so.
That's a great
right?
question. That's a really great question.
Because she talked about dating the athletes, but then I remember she said something
that if he was going to go to community college, she wouldn't follow.
Yeah, that was it. That he didn't have the grades or something, and
I don't know.
But it's part of the cheerleader. Didn't say it was a scholarship, but it was a walk down. So I guess they just need cheerleaders, and that's how she's just getting pushed in. So then, in theory, Greta didn't need to ask any of these damn questions, but
Nope.
she did, and she regretted afterwards because she couldn't believe how dumb these answers were. So there you go. But then she goes outside, she sees Angela, she's like, "Oh, that was so tough." But I got through it. Like, right? It was so tough. Ooh, that was a tough one, but hey, she got it. And it's like, of course you did. This is great. You're in it.
And then, they come out. Then we see Cami and Tommy driving. They're kind of discussing everything that, she's basically discussing. And Tommy's like, you just let me handle it. No. I need to be involved, which I can already tell this is going to become a conflict. Now, what I'm seeing here, this is what I'm seeing here.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Again, I have no idea. There will be a conflict between Cami and Tommy. Cooper has now struck gold. He struck all this oil. Tommy's going to leave to go work with Cooper, which will start a divide between him
all right,
and
save that for the end. Then we'll give our thoughts, because then
I literally just came in. because Cooper calls.
No, well, because right before the other key part, like you said, there are some issues there. Cami, because Tommy's like, hey, just redirect all the calls to me. They're going to Monty burnt a lot of people. They are mad, so he should just don't worry about it. I'll deal with all the. And she said that even in her speech, she doesn't know all the ins and outs, but she is cutthroat. She is just as ruthless as Monty.
And I agree with her. She needs to be involved, to an extent. As a sports fan, I know that people hate when the owner is too involved. And I agree. You hire a GM, you hire a coach to do their job. But when someone says, well, the owner doesn't need to know, bull, like they're the ones that are paying. And maybe you agree with like, hey, it's your call. You're the GM. That's why I hired you. You're the president, whatever. At the same time, if I'm going to be giving a quarterback, let's say $50 million, you have to express to me why we feel that this guy is the right guy, because I am the one signing the checks. She's the same way. She wants to know exactly what's going on. Who knows how long Tommy's going to be there? The guy is smoking like crazy. I mean,
he does. He's a chain smoker.
Yeah, we need to get him and the guy from Slow House together so they can smoke together.
Yeah. Jackson. There we go. Hey, it's all in the. Well, no.
So it's one of those, she's moving in to Tommy's territory where her husband let Tommy do what he needed to do, and Tommy would tell him, hey, you hired me to do this.
Just we'll see.
Collect your cash. Although that guy knew exactly what he was doing because he made money. So
that is true.
This is where Cooper does call him and he says, hey, I need to talk to you. He said, why don't you come to dinner? We're on our way back. We're going to be flying back. Cooper doesn't want to have anything to do with his mom. I don't blame Cooper.
It's a lot of drama. I
see why Tommy wants to have something to do with Angela. Although I'm not sure if I could deal with that much crazy.
Yeah, it's tough, but you know what? A lot of people know that that's a real situation. There's a lot of relationships like that. There's a lot of people in those type of relationships where it's like everything else could be crumbling and problems all over, but when it hits that intimacy level, it's like, oh, this is where they're eye to eye, but everything else is horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. You can find that elsewhere. Anyway, so Oh, yeah, that's right. Cami and them live down there in Fort Worth. So they get there and taking the private jet back up to
Nice.
Midland.
Mhm.
Is it Midland?
That's what he said. It was Midland.
Yeah.
That's where they're at.
I'm not saying Midland because we have a Midland here in Michigan, and I know.
Oh,
And
yeah, Midland.
again, like that was another thing when,
But it's all oil. It seems like everybody knows because that's one of the things with Greta when she brought that up.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, she's like, oh yeah, I study abroad. Where Midland? Really? That's not what.
And that's what Ainsley's like. I studied abroad.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, my daddy works over there. She was like, oil, right? It's like, yeah, oil. But it's just so funny, so funny. What was it? The precipitation, and she's like, "Oh, the it doesn't rain a lot."
It hasn't rained since I've been here.
Yeah, oh man, oh that was fun. That was a fun one.
And so anyway, they're on the plane, and we have Angela basically talking like she just wants to spend this money. She tells him, "You're president of an oil company now. We have the money, right?" Because
she wants a house. She wants a house over there in Fort Worth now that her daughter's going to be around.
Well, yeah, she decides that cool. She needs to hire a realtor so they can buy a house there. Which we find out the guys and she is right. Like we're living in a frat house. Like she's absolutely right.
Yeah, because at the time he was a single guy. They were all single guys.
Yeah,
and then she came along and brought the daughter and then the son and.
But well, how like Nathan and Dale haven't been like, we're going to get our own apartment. We're making enough money. I'm going to get my own. I'm not living here.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Not to mention, if I remember correctly, I think Dale had a personal connection, or at least Nathan does. I would have been like, hey, we're not. You know her. We can't live here. We need to get get another house.
Mm-hmm.
But either way,
well,
she's just looking to spend more of his money.
He's gonna have a lot of it soon.
And then we see TL for the first time, which is Sam Elliott. And he's in a wheelchair. He's trying to watch the sunset. And was this a nurse?
Yeah, it was one of the nurses there, or because the guy that replaced was a nurse or orderly, that came over. Her name was Denise. And she just kept trying to say, no, let's go. No, you're messing it up. You're ruining it. It's like, I need to see this.
And he is very, very demeaning of her. And he just goes off on her, saying that I could explain it, but you still wouldn't figure it. I'm like, if she's a nurse, she's pretty smart. And she's pretty much smart enough to know that when you did get out of that wheelchair, she could have just kicked you and knocked you down, and you're not getting back up. And we hear that his name is Thomas. Yep. And you put two and two together. Tommy is gonna be his son.
Look at you spoiling it now. Well, we're assuming that is. It seems like it is. It seems like it is.
They've already watched the show.
No, not that. I mean, we know what happens regarding his mom, but I'm still not sure. It's got to be.
His name is Thomas.
I know, but it's just remember his name is Norris and the L, the last. So
that's like being like, oh my god, that guy's name is Lawrence, and the main character is Larry, and he looks to be about as old as his father. I wonder if it's his dad.
But I feel like there's gonna be more to it. I don't know.
I'm sure there's more to it.
Gotta be something with it.
But then this is where we see the other nurse. He takes over. He says, as much time as you need. He sits down and he goes, but this is where he has to tell him that we got a call from memory care. And I want to say her name was
Dorothy.
Mm-hmm. Dorothy passed away.
Yep. She went down for a nap.
She went down for a nap and didn't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully she wasn't driving.
Well, she went down for a nap. She's not driving.
People went down for a nap while driving. All right.
Oh boy, now I'm concerned. You got this 9-hour drive.
I didn't say I have.
All right, lower the windows.
So then we flip to Cooper showing up to the house for dinner, and Angela running up to him. You can tell this guy does not. He doesn't like his mom.
No.
right? And again, I don't blame him. Right?
They're just very
She's
different. They're very different.
overbearing, and he is a he's a worker, just like his dad, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say Angela and Ainsley are not. They are freeloaders.
Whoa.
They would be what I would call gold diggers.
Whoa. With the low blows. I don't know. Well, could she?
Angela,
it's tricky
if you
with all
remember,
that.
the guy
No,
Angela
she did.
was with, right,
Was another, yeah,
was super rich.
super rich. Yep, I know. I remember. And she sort of, even in this episode, right after the college meeting, she said you could learn to bake, and then what you can't bake, you could have other people bake for you.
Yeah.
There's something to that effect. So it's like, I get it. I just feel like, yeah, I guess she could be listed as a gold digger, but it's picking to be with Tommy. She didn't have to, like you just said, she was with that rich guy who gave her all the freedom, all the money, but she was bored. She wants to be there with Tommy. So it's not so much of like, oh, I'm a gold digger, I need this. No, she genuinely wants to be with Tommy and the kids and have
Because
that
there's
family.
some sort of connection between them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But here we see the whole family, and Dale and Nathan sitting down for dinner. And if you remember from last season, there's a few other times they sat down for. She's very demanding when they sit down, and she keeps making stuff that no one wants.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, Dale called her ravioli something else, and she lost it last.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah. Because in this one, this is pasta, pepper, truffles,
but there's no sauce. And
no sauce.
Like, it's a different type of sauce.
Mm-hmm.
With a $2,800 mushroom.
Yeah, the dogs have to go sniffing the ground, and that's why it costs money and all this stuff. Look, and she starts shaving pieces off, and she's like, "How much do you want?" And he's going, "Give me $600 worth of it."
There are some great lines as Cami's talking to Dale, explaining everything, and again, like he's kind of like saying, like, "Oh my God, she gets worse." After her, basically, she gets worse after her. Like she's always bad for 28 days out of the month, and she makes some comment about like how she can hear, and I'm watching it like I don't think he was saying it so you weren't supposed to be able to hear. These weren't whispers.
No, and that's the problem here because when she does, well, let's just play this one part because then it gets into it.
Please, I beg you. To grant us patience. And that's about it. Amen.
Amen.
That was for the grace. That was funny, just to say. But the whole point of this is that he could avoid this. Like you said, she could hear it, and he knows she could hear it, and he knows that this is going to set her off.
And she even tells him, I can't control my hormones, but you can control not constantly telling me. Right?
Yeah.
And she's kind of, she is right, but at the same time, you can only say, it's that time of the month, you know how I am, and use that as an excuse for so long. You are actively acting a specific way.
But because it flipped her off, flipped Tommy off. It's the whole thing is that she was saying, "Hey, I need a 5-bedroom place." Right? She found this realtor. He's going to find a 5-bedroom. She's like, "Why 5-bedroom?" Oh, well, eventually she's going to have kids, and Cooper already has a kid. I don't have a kid. Well, you do when you come over. In fact, we're probably not even 5 rooms. So maybe he feels that she is going to make a rash decision, and then tomorrow just buy some house that she hasn't seen.
But he's correct. But he's correct because he's like, "This is not the place." Like it shouldn't be in front of all these people, but she doesn't care. It's not her money, But she loses it.
She loses it, and she starts throwing plates, throwing everything. Everybody disappears. Cooper says, "All right, I'll call you later."
They're all hiding.
Yeah,
I loved it because they were all hiding like they were being shot at. And then Cooper's like, Dad, I'll call you tomorrow. And he's like, sounds good.
Still, man, I don't know about you, but I would not be able to hold that in. Oh, by the way, I just hit oil. I'm about to make $10 million a year. You would have to spew that out. You have to tell them that it's just especially if your dad's in the business,
But
you know he's gonna react well.
I also don't think Cooper wanted to tell him in front of his mom.
You think so?
I don't think he wanted to.
I was gonna say, I was like, no, I don't think he wanted to. No. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is when she's like pulling it, you have Dale grabs like the food. Nathan, if you notice, grabbed the wine bottle and his wine glass.
Well, gotta salvage something from this meal. So.
Well, it could probably drive me to drinking being around. But anyway, they get in a big fight. She throws a plate by him, and then he ends up basically, as she's yelling at him, he tells her all the sweat and her.
It's getting him
in a very tight,
tight bra. Yeah, the
tight bra is like turning him on. And she's like, "You saved it. Like that's the only thing you could have said. That's the only thing. Like, good Lord, like." And then she sits down against TCU, and they kind of talk things out. And he just wants to skip and go right to the sex. They know that's where it's going to end. And she's like, that doesn't make it fun. Like, she actively needs this. And I think we've all known people in life that need the drama.
Drama. Yeah. There's some people that just love it. They love it. They need it. They need to create it in some way.
Not just females.
No. It's gonna be everywhere. I had buddies that would constantly. We would go out and they would do something dumb in a bar. And I was like, "You're doing this on purpose. Yep. We don't need this situation to happen here." You know. So yeah, there's those type of people, and she's one of them.
Yep. And that's kind of how this ends.
Wait, no. He gets a call. Because then that's it. Yeah, he gets a call while they're just, getting ready. And
then she gets mad, saying, "Don't you ever take a call when I like." Which, again, he's a president of an oil company.
Something major could have happened. Yeah. Something. She said, "Hey."
And we've seen a guy get crushed with pipes, right? We've seen awful things happen.
The explosion.
Yeah,
we've seen some stuff. But he finds that she was like, "Yeah, unless someone dies." And he said, "Well, someone did." And then he goes out smoking a cigarette. She comes out. She was like, "Wait, who died?" And he said, "His mom died."
So I don't know if you caught this, but there was one thing that I kind of caught is that he says, "Yeah, I'll call him tomorrow." And I'm assuming that's referring to his dad, or at least the person I'm assuming is his dad.
Yeah.
And he says, "I'll call him tomorrow." Now, I'm sorry. If someone just called me, if someone called me and told my mom just died, I'd be like, what? That was back in 89. So it'd be really weird conversation. But, again, you would think that, like, God forbid something happened to my ex. And, when we're older, that my kids were like, "Yeah, I'll call dad tomorrow about it." Like,
well, it could have been, let's say this is his dad, TL is his dad. Well, he's old. Maybe he's sleeping. At this time, he went back in and he took it at the time.
Lost his wife, and this is your son.
I don't know if he lost his wife. I think they're separated or something. If they're both together still, then they should be in the same old home, right? If that was the case,
she's in memory care. That's where you go for Alzheimer's.
Okay.
Yeah, memory care is for Alzheimer's or dementia.
Oh, okay. There you go. So I didn't.
That would be the reason why they wouldn't be together.
Okay. Now that makes more sense. Yes.
Yeah.
So she was put in that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because normally, once you get put in memory care, it's only a matter of time.
Oh, that's horrible.
Which technically, no matter what, no matter where we go, it's only a matter of time.
It's always a matter of time. Like sands through the hourglass.
When he says, "I'll call him tomorrow," I'm assuming it's talking about his dad. But that would be like, I feel like that would be that would be before my kids, and that's your mom. That's I'm assuming his wife, right? Like that would be the first person that I would call.
All right. So now that if this is his father, if TL is his father, do you think they bring him in? He's obviously he's a big name. So do you bring him into the fold, into the house, just like how we've added the mom and the daughter and the son. Do
Well,
we have grandpa now coming in?
why is he in a wheelchair, right? Like he's in a home. You know,
Mhm.
how far away is he?
He could
Has
have
a
a bad
relation.
hip or something. Yeah.
Well, he has a relationship, and he did walk. He did get up, so you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
He has a relationship with Taylor Sheridan, as he was in 18. What?
1923.
No,
No,
he was
no, 1883. That's right. He was a
1883. He was in
18.
there.
He was one of the
He's the one who ended up taking his own life.
yeah, no, but he was one of the scouts, the
Yeah.
escorts taking the Europeans into the middle America when he was taking them out.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man.
So he has a relationship with Taylor Sheridan. So I'm guessing, like,
Sam Elliott. There we go.
yeah, I don't, just like we saw in the other show, Samuel L. Jackson show up. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think they're not brought in for, like, a bit. I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit.
Yeah. And this is why I'm wondering if he's going to get brought into the fold, into the house, because he's not playing a power role. It's like, oh, he's just another oil tycoon somewhere else that's causing problems.
Yeah.
No, if there's a connection with the family, and let's say that's the dad, mom just passed, it only makes sense, because what, Tommy's going to go visit him. Oh, well, I'm sorry about mom. We'll put together the funeral. We get like 2 episodes of that, and then all right, goodbye. That seems like a waste for Sam Elliott. I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Also, his backstory with work. Now, he also went on one of his Tommy's type of little rants about stuff. Remember when he like you brought up where with Denise and saying you wouldn't understand it, but he starts explaining stuff. So it's sort of like that's where Tommy gets it from. You know, his dad doing that. But it was good. This was good. I'm excited that it's back.
It's set up what I would believe, is going to happen mostly throughout the season. That's what that's what a premiere is supposed to be. You have 10 episodes, and I'm using 10 episodes here. You have 10 episodes. You're setting up what we're going to see for the rest of the season for the most part. And I think that's what we're getting.
It was good.
I was happy with it.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. Cooper, it's that quick. The first episode, boom, he made it. He's now going to have 10 million a year. Sunshines and rainbows. Everything's going to be great for him. There you go. He's going to run around with that limo with the horns on the front. He's a tiger. There's your Dallas. It's all working out for him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Please stick around, like you just mentioned. We're covering, and as you guys already know, you can click on the playlist. We cover a bunch of shows, but all the shows we cover from beginning to end, good or bad, we go through the whole thing. So if you ever missed an episode, wasn't sure if you should even bother watching it, or you're on the fence, or you want to just hear people talk about it and see if it align with your thoughts of what's going on with it, then you found the right place. So thanks for checking us out. We will be back next week for episode 2. We also should be back that same week with the season finale of Tulsa King. So there you go. And Armand is still dead. Still not gonna get over that. But that's how that happened. All right, everybody. Thanks again. And we'll talk next week. Yep. Later.